Hey everyone, what's up? Crapgamer here from Crapgamer Reviews, coming at you with another video. Thanks for checking it out. Make sure you guys give it a thumbing because I love those, and then tell me on Twitter that you gave me a thumbing and we'll have a little bit of back and forth. Shout out to those that have fun with me that way. Love the thumbings, definitely do. I am the most compelling game-related YouTuber, and you damn well know it. I'm also the king of all game-related media, and you knew that as well. Yesterday I did the podcast with everybody, and we were all kind of talking about this rumors of this Xbox One Slim or whatever, and it's so interesting because Microsoft is in such a bad place. And I made this point yesterday, and sometimes I'll do videos about a topic that we hit on, but since we go over 2 hours in the podcast, some people don't want to listen to for the full 2 hours, so I'd like to break that down into a little bit and say some things maybe that I thought made sense, and this is basically what that is. Microsoft is in a very odd position right now because people hate the Xbox One. It's a stain on gaming. It's a shit stain on gaming if it were. I think it's the best console. I think it has the best games, the best features, the best controller, the online, all that stuff, right? But at the end of the day, most people don't. Most people went with Sony and the PS4 for whatever reason, maybe because they thought the Xbox One can't play used games or what have you. But at the end of the day, people are like, Microsoft needs to come out with something as powerful or more powerful than the Neo. But at the same time, you can't really do that because Microsoft could come out with something that was more powerful than the Neo at the same time, and if it was still called Xbox One, people are going to avoid that shit like the plague because, like I said, that's a soiled product name. So you'd have to come out with something named something differently, which means that you're going to have to maybe wait for the next generation when they come out with Xbox Infinite or whatever they're going to call it, right? But it has to be something different. That's why, to me, biding your time with the Xbox One, maybe having the Slim at a really good price point, $199, $249, whatever it is, maybe free online service, that is what helps. That could maybe give you some hope. Having good games, that's going to help you along the lines. Just coming out with more power, throwing power at stuff doesn't help anything. More power for most of the games that we've had this generation, or better graphics, isn't going to do anything. At the end of the day, what is better graphics going to do to the Order 1886? You can only polish a turd so much. It's still a fucking turd. So at the end of the day, you have to deal with that. You know what I mean? That's going to be the real issue. Call of Duty, whether you like the game or not, it's running on that goddamn Quake engine, and it's just polishing a turd. That game never looks good no matter what you have. So you have to get the games right first. And I think that that's maybe what Phil Spencer's idea is. But whatever you do, if you come out with a new, more powerful console, it can't be called the Xbox One because, let's face it, that name is completely ruined, and you have to have something that maybe appeals to people, makes them think of the 360 era, something along those lines, because apparently whatever Microsoft has looks like they have a lot of faith in it because they're supposedly going to have 5 million of whatever this is ready to go probably right at E3, so that could be a huge thing. Whatever this is, maybe it's an Elite, maybe it does have a little bit more power, maybe, who knows, but hopefully it's a rebranding because Microsoft cannot go on with the Xbox One name. It was always a terrible name from the beginning. I understand what they were trying to go for, but it never made much sense to me. So I think that it's interesting, and I'll be paying close attention to what Microsoft does at E3 and post E3, and I know you guys will too. Major Nelson was pretty adamant on Twitter, and he never really takes to Twitter. He says, "Dear Internet, don't bother wasting time and making connections where there are none." You can maybe take that with a grain of salt with what he's talking about with Xbox 1.5 rumors or anything like that. I think Microsoft would be perfectly fine with a Slim at a good price point and great games, because that's what always matters most. I know this generation has been a little bit weird, but I still think great games do things, push consoles and things like that more than anything else. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Sound off in the comments section. Rate, comment, subscribe. Rack that shit up. Crapgamer out.